is this, the craft case. Oh, I'm trying to be, I've got this blur. I probably should take the blur off. The craft case, which has got all kinds of awesome things in it. You will need paint, a paint set, and paintbrushes. And the things that were not on the list are things that you have around the house, like a cup of water so you can wash your paintbrushes, and paper towels just to use for your hands or whatever. So if you want to run and grab that real quick, go. And I will talk about the project, just talk about the project for a few minutes while you go and grab those things if you do not have them already. And like I said, these guys are 100% customizable. If you can see here on him, I did feathers. All of this is in your craft case, which is really cool. So got feathers, pom-poms. I used some of the shapes that are in the foam shapes that are in the craft case. I cut some foam to make a little jagged mouth. On this one, I used, Chanel pipe cleaners, wiggle eyes, pom-pom, sequin. Again, all of this is in that craft case. And on this guy, he's got little spiked hair made with sparkle pom-poms, or I'm sorry, sparkle pipe cleaners. I've got pom-poms for his little eyes with wiggle eyes at the top, some more foam shapes, and then I cut a foam shape to make a little Picasso mouth. So we'll get started. If you can go ahead and put me on spotlight, we will be ready. Awesome, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna leave these guys in our view. Oh, let me move the light over. There we go, now we can see. I'm gonna keep these guys in our view. And I'm actually gonna turn one over, probably this one because it's a little bit lighter and easier to see. Because I just want you to see what we're doing with the back. So we're gonna start with, if you see, we have 5 craft sticks across the front, and then one that's snapped in half and glued to the back that keeps them all together as, keeps them together as one piece. Okay, so from your craft case, if you can go ahead and grab 6 craft sticks out. I'm going to do the same with mine. So I just took my packaging off.
Anna,
yes,
if they don't have googly eyes.
Okay, that's okay. You can use their, the wiggle eyes are in the craft case. There's a package in the craft case. If you don't have the craft case and you're just using like stuff around the house, that's great. You can use pom-poms, as you can use a marker and draw on there if you have a marker. If you have yarn, glue a little circle or a little, you can do like a winky eye, like we'll pretend. Sorry, I'm getting something like pretend this is your guy, and you could just do this with yarn and glue it on like that. You can, the sky's the limit. Whatever that you can come up with, you can think of and come up with to make an eye. You can use sequin, gems, pony beads. You have pony beads. So there's all kinds of ideas.
Marker they can use color sticks. If they have colored sticks.
Yes. Yes, if you have craft sticks that are already colored, this first part, you're already there. Because we're going to paint our craft sticks. Ours come natural. It came in the kit, in the craft case. They're natural. And if you don't want to paint them, if you want your craft stick monster to be a natural color, that's fine too. So you can just sit back and relax for the first few minutes while we're painting, while we're painting or I'm painting. You can watch me if you want to, and just relax for the first part, or you can get a jump start if you're just chomping at the bits and start cutting some different parts of your craft monster. So the first step we're doing is we're going to paint these guys. Okay, so in order to paint them, we need our paints and our paintbrush. Now, if you look at the paints, they come in these colors. I've got green here. I don't see green, do you? No, I don't see green. Orange, I don't see orange either. And pink, no pink. So I made these colors with the basics. So basically, for this one, I mixed red and white. For this one, I mixed yellow and red. Sorry, for some reason, my brain just stopped working. It took me a minute to remember what colors I did. And this guy, I mixed yellow and blue. So if you want purple, you want to mix red and blue. So if you want just blue, hey, you're already there. Just shake them up and then start painting. If you want just yellow, and I think I'm going to go with, I'm probably going to do purple because I don't have purple here. I'd like to show a mixing of the colors. If you're in my class on Friday, we mixed purple there too. So pink is actually my favorite color, but we are going to go with purple because I like another color. So, oh, my light just hit me. Okay. So I'm going to kind of shift these out of the way. So I'm going to keep these in the screen, but I'm just going to shift them up a little bit and keep these here and shift up a little bit. Okay. So I am just going to take a little bit of blue, and this is just palette paper. If you have wax paper, that'll work. If you have just, like paper that's covering your desk, you can do that too. But for the ease of the camera and not being able to move very easily my space, I am going to use palette paper because I can move it easier. So I'm just cleaning my paint thing. So I put my lid on, it doesn't go everywhere. And then I'm going to take a little bit of red. I just shook it up a little bit. And then I'm going to add, oh, I got something. Sorry, my red is kind of, I think I had it closed very good last time I did that. So I had a little bit of dry on the top. So I'm clean that. Oh, okay. So this way. Okay. So now I'm going to put a little bit of red. I'm going to put it right next to it. And that way I can just add, I can kind of add as I go. If I don't need all of it, I'm not wasting all the red. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a paintbrush, it doesn't matter which one, and I'm going to get a little bit of red, grab a little blue, and I'm going to mix it. And if you were in my class on Friday, and if you weren't, if I want a lighter purple, then what comes with this right here, I'm going to add a little white. Okay. So right now, like, I know I'm going to need some more of that. Mix. It's hard to match. So always make as much that make as a little bit more than you think you need. Not a lot, because you don't want to waste paint, right? But a little bit. So I'm going to add.
Anna, if you can just like slow down or just repeat what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, just a second. I will definitely do all of that. Okay. So I am mixing. I'm mixing paints to get the color I want, because the only colors that came in our paint set were just some basics. Here, and I'll just set that right there so you can see what they are. So to make purple, I've mixed blue and red, and now I'm going to add a little bit of white because I want a little bit lighter purple. So sorry, my spinning here is a little fast, but really I'm just doing the same thing. All I'm doing is I'm going to add some more white because I want it even lighter than that. So I did them separate on my paper, my palette paper here, or if you have a paper plate or on your desk paper. Just pour, I poured them, like I said, I poured it separate so I can bring in what I need. So I don't, end up with, like a brown mess, because sometimes I do that when I add too many. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab the rest of this white, go a little bit lighter. And so I'm just mixing the color. So if you want an orange monster, do exactly what I'm doing, but instead of red and blue, use for the orange, use yellow and red. For green, mix yellow and blue. I would start more blue than yellow and just add a little bit more yellow as you go. And then, like I said, if you need to tone it down, if you are brighter, add a little bit of white. White's a good kind of base to get started. So here I have my purple. So this is the color that I'm going to use to paint my craft sticks. So I'm going to go ahead and really, you can, the sixth one that's going to go across the back. And again, if you joined us a little bit after I mentioned this, these guys, the sixth craft stick, you're going to break in half, and it's going to be cut. It's going to be glued across the back, so it holds them all together. So you can paint it or you don't have to, it's up to you. because it's on the back, it won't be seen. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to paint mine, but it's up to you if you want to. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to paint my craft sticks with the color I just mixed. And I'm just going to do the front. If you want to do the back, you can, but again, you won't see the back. So that's up to you. And then the sides, they're going to be glued together. So really, if you want to do the sides, maybe just the one that's going to be on each end here, like on the sides. Or, I mean, I don't really think it's that big a deal if you don't paint the sides, but that's up to you. I mean, this is your monster. Make him the color, him or her, the color that you like, your favorite color. Maybe because it's a monster, not your favorite color, just whatever. If you don't have these exact paints, any of your paints will work perfectly. Or you can leave it natural. If you don't have any paints, but you have markers, you can color them with markers. Takes a little bit longer. Seems to pull some of your marker out, but it is definitely possible. Crayons are a little bit more tough, but they do work too. So I'm just painting the side here on the outside one, assuming I remember to put that on the outside. And see, these guys dry, this paint dries pretty fast. So I'm going to just go through real quick, do one more coat because I want it a little bit thicker. So I did a thin coat. By the time I got to the last one, the first one was pretty dry. So I'm just doing another coat on top just to have a little bit more coverage. But if you like these right here, we're only done with one coat. This one was two, but these were done with one coat and they look perfectly fine. So we have any questions yet? Probably not. Pretty easy. Kind of early or early in the project. Yeah, I'm not trying to go fast. So if I am, please feel free to ask. I slow down. And Maria will help communicate to me that you guys would like me to slow down a little bit. Okay, so these are painted.
How long will the glue take to dry?
Not very long, just a few minutes. We are going to, while these are drying, we're going to now that once you get them all painted, we're going to move them to the side and start working on the shapes and stuff. So by the time we're done with kind of planning out what we want to do for a monster, they'll be ready, they'll be dry. And then we can kind of go back to how to, attach them together to make the face background. And then we'll use glue to put it all together. So we'll just set it aside so it can dry. But by the time we get all that stuff done, which is probably about 10 or 15 minutes, it may not even be that long, the sticks will be way dry. So we're good with that. And so I'm going to shift this over here a little bit, and I'll just be in the upper corner just to remind us it's there. And I'm going to move the paints out of the way while we start working on our features of our monster. If you're not done painting, feel free to continue. I'm not going to move on quite yet. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what options we have for our monster faces, which really I'm working with what's in the craft case. If you have some awesome crafting items that are not in the craft case that you want to use, feel free. For example, if you have yarn and you want to use them for hair and you want to make a mohawk or something kind of fun, you can absolutely 100% do that. That is a great way to personalize your monster. If you don't have, and again, if you don't have the craft case, look around and see what kind of items you have around the house. They're your basic crafting items, pom-poms, foam sheets, construction paper. I was going to say cardstock, like crafting cardstock, scrapbook paper. If you only have white printer paper, color it. All of these things work perfectly for this guy. So we can do a whole lot with minimal items. Macaroni, awesome item. And so all of these things are just ideas. So when you're done painting your craft stick, make sure you put your paintbrush in your water so the paint does not dry on your paintbrush and ruin your paintbrush, because we'd like to reuse the paintbrushes as much as we can. At least that's what I do. I like to reuse mine. I like to conserve and hold on to things as long as I can. So paintbrush, clean. I cleaned mine real quick. I had paper towels in the water, so I cleaned mine real quick. But if you're not have time for that, just make sure you put it in water, and that keeps it wet so your paint won't dry. And you can clean your brush still when we're done. Cool. All right, we're going to move on. So from the case, or actually I'm going to talk about the stuff in the case. We kind of mentioned some things you can do if you don't have the case, or if you want to combine normal stuff you have around the house with what you have in the case, that'll work. In all of my monsters here, I've used so many options that are in this case. We have sequin. Now it's in this little bag, so sorry, it's kind of shiny. Sequin. We have sparkly palms. If you can see, they've got like little sparkle aspects shooting out of them like that. It's pretty cool. Set that aside. And we have regular pom-poms that we can use. We have wiggle eyes. And we had a lot of ideas on how to use, if you don't have wiggle eyes, a lot of things that you can do, like beads or yarn, markers, crayon, all those kinds of things you can do. If you don't have wiggle eyes, you can draw them, whatever. So I'm gonna leave those right there. And then we have, I didn't use pony beads, but you can totally use pony beads. I didn't use them in any of mine, but I wanted to mention them because they are a great item to use. I'm going to set them up here. You have these sticky gems. They're already stickers. So I use them like on the nose here. So that's a great item. Great idea. We have these shapes. They're foam sticker shapes. So I use the star. Oops, not that circle thing. The star here. And I used the triangle here. Stars here and two circles cut in half there. So there's that idea. Then we have pipe cleaners, chenille pipe cleaners, and sparkle pipe cleaners. So lots of options there. And last but not least, there are a couple other items in here like floss and tissue squares, but we didn't really use those, but feel free to if you want to. We also have these glitter glue pens. Now this one is a glue pen. Now you'll see I'm going to use one that's bigger, but it's the same one because I broke this on the top. So that's my fault. I broke that. They're the exact same glue. This just is a different package. So just if you're wondering why mine might look bigger or something than yours, that's because I broke mine. So I'm using a substitute. So that's my fault. Okay. If we have any questions, are we ready to get started with planning?
When are we going to make a space bracelet?
Right. Yeah, we're making it now. We're gonna plan right now. Mm-hmm. Once we have it planned, which will take a few minutes, we'll put we'll put the face together, the base of the face. But we're going to plan them out right now. And what I do that so that way these craft sticks have plenty of time to dry, and they're actually mostly dry now, but we're going to give them a little bit more because some people may have finished painting after I did. So I'm just moving them out of that little spot that were so wet already.
And can you make the monsters super detailed?
To make them what?
With more details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. We can do whatever we want on our monster. Sorry, I'm going to grab something to get the paint off my fingertips there. If you don't know, baby wipes are a crafter's best friend. So if you love to craft with paint and all kinds of stuff, ask your parent or guardian for a package of baby wipes because they get everything off your hands really quick, wipe the table down real easy. Such a great item. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here and just kind of think and look at what my options are. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Or if you guys have ideas of what you want me to do, I am all ears. Sorry, these things are kind of loud and the plastic. I'm just pulling a couple of things out to get an idea of what I might want to do. If anyone has any ideas, or if they're like, hey, I want you to use the sparkle palms, I can do that. I love the sparkle palms. Anything that adds a lot more bright and fun, I'm all for it. Oh, there's two things I didn't mention. There's the foam sheets, which we can cut and glue on, and feathers. Like this guy's little hair is made out of feathers. So I like the feathers. I think that's a fun idea. So I'll probably use those. These I'm going to keep close because I will probably use these for something. But the sticker shapes are great because they're already stickers. Adding glue is not hard to do. But I thought the little Picasso mouth was kind of fun. But I might do a little bit different shape. Because why not? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see which way it takes us. Okay. So I am going to, since my face is going to be purple, the bottom of, the base is going to be purple. I want to stay away from purple because I want to use colors where they stand out instead of blend in. That's my preference. If you painted yours orange and you want to use all orange features, that is 100% a-okay. This is just kind of the way I do it. So I'm just going to kind of think about what I want to do. And I think I'm just going to do some eyes, and I'll probably do some foam shapes behind the eyes again, because that was a fun idea. I might just do, what did I say? I didn't want to use a purple one. My favorite color is pink. So I'm going to go probably with a pink. And I'm going to do two sizes, and I'm going to do them really close together because that looks fun. And then I'm going to put some wiggle eyes on there. So I'm going to leave these. Oh, no, I'm going to go ahead and get them out just so I don't have to do it after a while. I'm going to stick. Oh, they're staticky. Should put some lotion on my hands so they don't stick to me. And then, oh goodness, it keeps sticking to me and then moving where I move. Okay, so that looks kind of fun. I may move it closer so there's a little bit sillier. Because my monster, he's silly. Okay, so there I've got to do his face. I got his face right here kind of started. Nose, I'm going to do a sparkly nose. That sounds fun, doesn't it? Or maybe, well, does he need a big nose because he's really silly? Or does he have a cold? Or reindeer? Sunburn? I live in Texas. It's hot here. Maybe it's a sunburn. Pink with a sunburn on his nose. That sounds fun. Not for him. Sunburns aren't fun, but maybe it needs to be a little smaller because it's kind of big. I'm going to keep this one close because I may change my mind once I've got the monster in sight and put together. Oh. Pom-pom flying. Got him. He has been caught and rescued. Oops, that didn't go there. Okay. I kind of clean as I go, so kind of helps you guys get caught up with me if I'm super fast. I'm trying not to be. Okay, so remember, I'm going to keep this guy kind of just aside because I might end up using him once I get the face done. And then for the mouth, now you can do cheeks. You can do, like I used the sequins for the mouth on this one. I used glitter glue for his little eyebrows, which I think I might do again on this one. So I think that was a great idea. I think I want to do kind of a lighter color. So I'm going to do orange or green. I'm going to do green. That sounds like a funny color for eyebrows. And the mouth, I think I want to use I like to do the shapes. I thought that was fun, like I did here. And if you want to do cheeks, like I did little star cheeks, you can do that. Let's see what we have here. don't want to do purple so it doesn't get blended. But I like to do a lot of colors, if you can tell. I don't really want to do circles since I did the circle there. Let's see. Maybe he has a little goatee. That'd be fun. Should he have, let's see if I have enough of, maybe we'll do, see if I have a couple of blue stars, I can make a little smiley face. Can be a slight smile, right? This little goatee, kind of a big goatee. My husband has a goatee. It's not like that, but he has one too. Okay, I think I've kind of, here we go. I'm gonna get the, so this is my basic, what I'm kind of going with. If we want to put gems on there to make it kind of look a little bit fancier, or maybe gems are their cheeks. I'm going to save that idea for once we get them together. And so I'll put it with this, and then the hair will kind of come together whenever we're putting it all together. So we'll come back to that. Basically, the planning gives you time to for your craft sticks to dry, and then that way, once you get it all together, you're ready to rock and roll putting it together. Now we are using glue, so there is the element of it's going to take a few minutes for that to dry, but it doesn't take that long, so we can talk a little bit when that happens. So I'm going to move my little idea. I'm just going to put my hand over it and shift it, just so I have a little room here, and I'm just going to keep it to where I can see it put together. Okay, so to put it together, I'm going to flip these over so you can see what I did and how we put these guys together. I kind of have them stuck so this one doesn't fall over, but I think you can see this one the best because of the natural. It's easier to see. Here, I obviously didn't paint this one, so I don't know why I did that, but you never know. Okay, so you're going to take the painted ones. If you only painted the 5 like I did, and you left the 6th one natural like I did, just put the natural one aside and flip all of your painted ones over. You know, the back has a little bit of wet, but that's all right. This paint comes off pretty easy, off your fingers pretty easy. So I'm just going to line them up, line the top and the bottom. Okay. Oh, moved it. Okay. So this one here, you just want to kind of eyeball and find the middle, to have the middle here. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then just put your hands, put it like this in your hands, put your thumbs on the back side and your hands on the front, and then you're just going to snap it in half. And I just went back and forth, and you can see totally not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect at all. If you have an adult or guardian around that you want help, that would be great. I just snapped that pointy end off. Or you can use your scissors in your kit to get that pointy end off. It should help. I don't know if it'll cut real easy if you want to go that route to cut it in half, but I'm trying it right now just to see. Yeah, that's not too bad. So if you want to cut it in half, that's perfect. Again, does not have to be exactly perfect. You just want it to be able to go across all of the 5 sticks. That's our goal. It's got to go across all 5 to hold it. We can go across straight like this, and then, or slanted like this. And actually, it's probably how I'm going to glue them together, because, you know, that makes sense. Actually, I may do it like, I guess that didn't really, it's the same. So yeah. Okay. So I'm going to move, I just made sure it fits. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to run a line of glue. Yep, there it is. Okay. Line of glue up my halves here. I'm doing it kind of thick, but it doesn't have to be that thick. I did it way too thick. So I'm going to bring some of this over here because I did it way too thick. Now, if you do it too thick, it's not the end of the world. Just may take a little bit longer to dry. I am going to go in with my hands. I don't recommend it, but it's not going to hurt if you do it. And I'm just going to flatten it out with my finger. You don't have to do it this way. The way I did it with the nozzle of the paint, perfectly fine. I'm just what I like to call a kamikaze crafter. I just go all in. and I've got stuff all over me. Okay, so I'm going to pick up this craft stick and I'm going to, there's the glue. I'm going to lay it across there. I'm going to hold it for just a second. And the only reason I'm doing that, just so it can kind of bond. If you see glue come out the back like that, like I just saw, don't worry, it will dry clear. Okay. Then now I'm going to take this one and I'm slanting it because it's too long to go straight across. If you want to cut it and do a straight across the top, that works. Does not have to be like, as you can see, I did these all differently. Oh, I lost a spike. These are all different. The way, I mean, they're similar. I'm sorry.
Can they use Elmer's glue?
Yes. Yes, you can. If you have a craft stick, like, or a glue stick, like this right here, you can use that too. It may not have the same kind of hold, like it might eventually kind of come apart a little bit, where the liquid glue is just a little bit better hold, but this will work if it's what you have until you can, maybe if you end up using this, then later, and you have some Elmer's glue or another glue, you can just like run it across the sides and it'll hold it together. So this works. This works. Elmer's glue works. If you have Creatology, like this glue here, it works. So just basically any kind of, craft glue that's, okay for kids, then you're good to go. If your parent or guardian has hot glue, let them hot glue across the top. Because, and that's okay too. They can do that for you if that is what you have to use. Cool. So the nice thing about this is as the glue is drying, we can still build our monster. So I just flipped it over. You saw I just had it right here. I just carefully kind of lifted it and let it knock over. See, I can see a little bit of glue here. It's going to dry clear, so don't worry. So that little bitty white kind of marks you see, that's just glue kind of going through. That's all right. It's going to dry clear. Okay. So here is, so now I'm just going to start putting my little features on and see if I like it and make any changes that I decide. I'm going to kind of move it over to the side so it looks like he's kind of looking that way. Here is my nose for my little sunburn sweetie, monster sweetie. And another reason I was going to do that is, it's kind of head's kind of turned because I only have 3 stars. So it looks like the rest of his mouth is kind of on the other side. It's not, but it's just an illusion. So that's kind of fun. He's kind of smirking. I think he's got a little bit of a personality there. And then I really like the whole feathers. So I think that's fun. So I'm going to go, and because his goatee is orange, his mohawk is going to be orange. My husband owns a couple of restaurants and he has a chef who's the mohawk chef. And every week he has a different color. It's kind of fun. This week it's purple. Just a fun little fact about me and my crazy family life. I'm going to grab some of the sparkle chenille or sparkle palm, I keep saying palms, sparkle pipe cleaners. And I think I'm going to add just a little bit of kind of fringe, if you will. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take my scissors from my craft case, and I'm just going to cut. I just cut like, I don't know, maybe a pinky's length. Doesn't have to be exact. Again, if you're following and doing what I'm doing, I'm not doing anything by any exact lengths. I'm just having fun right now. So I'm going to do another, because I want these to be relatively similar. I'm just going to measure off my last one. So the one that I cut, I'm just going to line it up here and then just going to cut it so they're about the same size. I think I'm going to do 3. I don't know if I'll use all 3, but I'm going to have 3 ready. Oh, I got all these little sparkly fringes or pieces coming everywhere when I cut it. Okay, And then I'm going to fold these in half. Oops. So if you're using like printer paper or construction paper and you want a fun hair idea, if you cut like cut a circle and then fold it in half, and it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. If you want a circle that's a little bit more close to proportionate, trace the top of a cup or something like that, and then cut it out, fold it in half so it's a semicircle, and then cut some so if this is your circle at the top, cut some slits in there, and then glue that to the bottom to the back. So then you've got kind of fun spiky hair. It's kind of a fun way. You can do like your slits closer together and a lot more. So just a fun little idea for how to further decorate your little guy here. And I'm going to do that at the top. Now, because this is sparkle, it's going to take a fair amount of glue to go on there, and that's okay. I'm not worried about that. So I'm going to do that last. So I'm going to put this aside. And then I'm going to, now that I know exactly what I'm doing, I'm going to flip this over again because I'm going to glue my feather on. So again, Elmer's glue, Creatology glue, whatever you have. You can use it if you have just household tape works. Household tape works perfectly. So that's going to take a minute to dry because the glue is, when I turn it over, these right here are going to kind of lift it off my workspace. The glue should not be affected by, it shouldn't make your item glued to your table as it's drying. But if you want to wait a few minutes, that's completely fine. So I'll talk a little bit about like this here. When I did the chenille stem, I did these fun little antennas. So to do that, if you take your chenille, what I did was I took one of these chenille stems. And I'm just going to grab any of them right here. And then I folded it in half, pinched the bottom, and it looks like I twisted this just to make that a little bit more thick, because that's what I'm going to glue. But before I glue, I took one of my paintbrushes and then just wrapped it around. Looks like I used a thicker one than what I just grabbed, but this is still the same idea. I wrapped it around, and when I slide it out, I get this cute little coil. I'll show you again on the other side. So I took it and I wrapped the top around just like that. I'm gonna go a little bit slower this time. I'll move to the middle here, a little bit slower. And then I wrapped it around. You can do this with a pencil if you don't have a paintbrush. You can do this with your finger. You can wrap it around your pinky. All of those are great ideas. Around a marker, around a crayon, whatever you have. And then if you see it's on here like that, and then slide it out. And there I have these cute little monster coils. And if you don't want them that long, you can trim them with your scissors. You can, like I did here on this one, I flattened this top. I kind of lifted it up and flattened the end, just tucked it in so I had a little platform. And I glued on eyes. You can glue on pom-poms because that's a fun idea. If you do pom-poms, I would do it kind of where it's flat like this, like looking up. So that way the pom-pom is like on the top instead of in the front. Because with eyes, he wants to look around and see. But if it's a pom-pom, you want it like this on top. So it's kind of sitting like that. If that makes sense. And then before we add whatever it is you want to on the top, do what I did here with the feather and just run some glue. And then that thicker twisted part that I twisted at the bottom, that just gives it a little bit more surface for the glue to attach to it. And even if you want to fold this up and over, that'll give it a little bit more as well. And I'm just going to twist it too, so it stays kind of together, just a minute, nothing major. So there is just made a little bit thicker. Then you can just glue it to the back. So, or tape it if you have household tape. That works. On this one, I did kind of similar that what I'm going to do on the front, but I did across the back. So his little spikes are up. And this one, as you can see, we did the feather just like we're doing here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, because it should, like I said, the glue should not be going over there on the back. And I'm going to go ahead and do this part now, since I'm not going to be flipping it anymore. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put a fair amount. That might be way, way, way too much, but I want this to stay for a while, like forever.
Anna,
Yes.
can they put like glow in the dark glue all over it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Glow in the dark is a great idea. It is a great idea. So while that's, I'm going to hold it down for as we talk a little bit. So how are we doing out there? Everyone having a good time? The monster coming together? we want to see your monster. So if you can, with your adult parent, guardian, big sister, brother, cousin, whatever you want to do, if you want to take a picture of your monster when we're done and then upload it and hashtag it, we want to see it. Our hashtags, we have 3 hashtags that you can do, all 1, 2, 3, whatever. Hashtag make it with Michael's, hashtag Michael's classes, or hashtag Michael's Kids Club. We'd love to see it. I'll go through those again here in just a few minutes. But we would love to see your monster. So please share it with us. Share it with us. Again, hashtag make it with Michael's, hashtag Michael's classes, hashtag Michael's Kids Club. All of those work. You can do all 3, or you can just pick one. If you're going to pick one, I opt for Michael's Kids Club, hashtag Michael's Kids Club, just because it kind of narrows it down to what we're doing in the class. But if that's how, if that's a little bit harder to remember, totally understand. Hashtag Michael's classes, another great one, and hashtag make it with Michael's. We will find you. We will find it with any of those. This one on the end seems to not be wanting to attach to anything, so I'm just going to add a little bit more. There we go. And it's, again, the glue will dry clear. So if you see a little bit out, don't worry, it will dry clear. Okay. And then once this dries, you can kind of move your chenille stems around. If you're doing sparkle palms or sparkle stems like I am, you can move them around once it's dry, but you want it to get attached and dry first before we do too much moving. And I'm not exactly centered, but that's okay, because remember, he's going to be looking to the side. So that was a happy accident. Okay, now I'm going to peel the back off of my foam and stick them on, because this is the back of my eyes. I'm going to stick them together, but I'm going to leave a little bit of room at the top because I want to do glitter glue eyebrows. And so then I'm going to add a dot of glue for my eyes. If you don't have wiggle eyes, but you have foam, you can use marker on foam. That is an awesome little tip. Draw your eye however you want. Cute. It's coming together. He's coming together. Okay, so now, do we want a big nose? Kind of looks like he's trying to be Rudolph, but just not there. I think the small one is the ticket this time. I'm going to go with the small one. So now I'm going to kind of make it a little off-centered, because again, he's kind of turning, looking to the other side, the way I'm doing mine. And then I'm just going to stick that on there, and that's going to take a few minutes to dry, but we're going to continue on. And then for my little star mouth, I'm going to start with the one over here and work in, up and in. So I'm going to kind of go up, and, you know, slightly shift it up because I want a little smile. Little savory character there I've got. And then I'm going to put my goatee on, kind of, probably should be a little bit slanted. Yeah. I wonder if it should have been like that because he's kind of turning. So I'll just put it like this. And because I have a little bit hanging off, I should have left a little bit of paper on there just so it doesn't get sticky, but I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I'll be good. He'll be fine. Oh, I moved that too fast, didn't I? Okay. And then I'm going to add, because something we talked, you know, like we kind of came up with the idea as we were talking earlier. I'm going to use a gem for a sparkle cheek. And because he's purple, I'm going to go ahead and do a purple cheek. I'm going to use a big purple gem and kind of put it there for, maybe it's a dimple. Who knows? And then I'm going to let my craft guy dry. That's the last and final step, but very important. You want all the pieces to dry completely so it will stay. The nice thing about some of these things, they are already sticky. I'm just moving the stars around a little bit the way I want them, and I'll cut that. I'm going to add some more glue because apparently I did not get a good bond there. The sparkle palms are a little bit tricky. You might want to cut away some of the sparkly parts just so you have kind of a flat surface. Little tip there, or as my 16-year-old would say, life hack, crafting hack. Okay, so glue is wet, so it's still kind of unstable for a short amount of time, but this is starting to bond pretty good. So there is mine. I'm going to move the cheek dot over a little bit. And then I'm going to move this. So if you move your stars around like I did and it loses its stickiness, you can always glue them. Even though they're sticky, glue won't hurt it. Oh, I shifted that too. See, I'm just getting too excited and I'm moving my guys around here. Remember, the glue will dry clear. So don't worry if there's glue places that you don't want to see it. It will dry clear. Push that down for a minute. It's like I'm honking his nose. Okay, so this is my character here today, which is pretty fun. Oh, I didn't forget. I forgot his eyebrows. Can't do that. I'm just on the side here, gonna check my flow. I'm just doing zigzag. Now it might flatten out as it dries and not be so zigzaggy. So if you want to do zigzags, do kind of bigger ones than I did. But if you're happy with just having the green like I am, just pop it on any way you can get it on there. So we have, this was mine. And if you can see, I've done 3 monsters and they all are very different, but yet little similar. There's things about them. You can tell that they're like, okay, that's cool. We use the same supplies, but there's a lot of things you can do. This one, I took a Chanel stem and just made a circle, just looped it and glued it on for a nose. So, I mean, these two are similar noses because they're both pom-poms. One's sparkle, one's regular, but this is a gem nose. This is just, Chanel pipe cleaner, Chanel stem, however you want to call it, nose. I use sequins here for the mouth, foam. This foam right here actually was just a foam sheet that I cut and glued on just into little triangles. Or you can take some of the shapes, the Chanel or the foam shapes, which here they are, like I've washed them, and cut them to make, I mean, you can go either way if you want just the sticker, the ease of the sticker already. And then use it's kind of the same idea here, but I use stars. Let's see, what else did we do? This one has eyebrows, but these don't. This one does. There's a lot of similarities. However, they're all very different. So I would love to see the way yours turned out. Again, hashtag, take a picture, upload, hashtag, make it with Michael's. Hashtag Michael's classes and or hashtag Michael's Kids Club. We have any other questions out there? Okay, do y'all love this craft case? If you have the craft case, such a great group of items to use, so many things. If you took a lot of these classes, we bought one craft case and all of us designers passed it around so we can make sure we are using the one craft case for all these projects. Such a great idea. And the craft case is a great idea. Products are awesome. Colors are fun. So if you don't have it, I suggest it. Yes.
Like they're asking about the names. Did you name it?
I didn't, but you know what? I thought about that earlier. I was like, we need a name. Is it anyone have a name? Anyone make suggestions for the name for my monster? I think he looks like a Fred. Maybe he's a
Amethyst. This is a Squiggly, Monsterica, Jimmy.
I love all of those. I love those. Jimmy's probably the easiest for me to pronounce, but I
Buffy,
love
Josh, Marco.
I love all of those. I love all of those.
Robert.
Yeah, don't forget, yeah, name yours too. Make sure you're putting a name to yours. You can, once everything dries, if you want to put his name on the back or sign your name like an artist and put your put the year that you did this so you can always remember. Put your hashtag on there so you don't forget where to put on the back. You know, you can write on this with pencil and pen. It's really makes it really easy, especially if it's natural. If you kept it at the natural, it's really easy to write on the back. So again, one more time, make it with Michael's. Hashtag make it with Michael's. Hashtag Michael's classes and or hashtag Kids Club. And check out our other videos for Camp Creatology. These are all recorded. So if you got lost somewhere or you want to go back and remember something that we did, these are recorded. We pre-recorded these classes. So this is the second time I've done this class. I'm going to move this out of the way. It's the second time I've done the class. So I can, the first time was just for video. So you guys have that access to the video. And all the other ones, if you had to miss for whatever reason, wanting to attend, you can go back and look at those videos. I believe that like this video will be posted next. And then the ones, you know, the future classes, if I'm not sure if this was the last one or not. I feel like it might have been, but I don't remember. If there's more classes, then you know, they'll post right after the class. If it's, yeah. So if there's not any questions, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate their time and it was a lot of fun and your input to my monster and have a great day. Thanks, guys.